Chapter 4: Beginnings of a Crimson Dawn. The battered freighter groaned as it cut through the thick gray clouds of Obadiah. The atmosphere was dense, pressing against the hull like an unseen force. Below, the surface of the Pike homeworld stretched out in a tangled web of towering spires, flickering neon signs and shadowed alleyways. The air was thick with the scent of spice, industrial decay, and the weight of silent deals made in the dark. From the bridge, Maul and his apprentice observed in silence. The Pike Syndicate thrived on secrecy, their wealth accumulated through addiction and deception. This was not a world where outsiders were welcomed. Yet Maul did not seek permission. He came to take what was his. The apprentice stood at his master's side, posture disciplined, but his mind sharp with calculation. He had spent months studying the Pike leader, analyzing every weakness. The Pikes were shrewd, but ultimately cowards, survivors who bent before the strongest force in the room. That made them easy to control. Maul's voice cut through the heavy silence. "You understand why we are here." The apprentice nodded. "They control spice and information." Maul inclined his head slightly, a flicker of approval in his gaze. "More than that, they control dependency, influence." His fingers curled behind his back. "Power is not measured by wealth alone. It is the ability to make others need you." The freighter descended, guided by unseen hands through the polluted skyline. As it settled on a private landing platform, Pike enforcers gathered, forming a defensive line. Their elongated heads twitched, grips tightening around their weapons. Suspicion radiated from them. A lead enforcer stepped forward, his voice nasal and sharp. "You are not welcome here." Maul walked forward unfazed, his measured steps pressing against the enforcer's confidence like an unseen force. "Our leader does not meet with uninvited guests." Maul's lips barely curled. "And yet, here we stand." A tremor passed through the enforcer. The air grew heavy, oppressive. His breath quickened. Then, against all reason, he stepped aside. "Follow me." The apprentice exhaled quietly. Even without igniting a saber, Maul had already seized control. The Pike leader lounged atop a gilded dais within the palace, surrounded by heavily armed guards and spice-cloaked advisors. The chamber reeked of narcotic smoke, thick enough to dull the senses, to make men pliable. But Maul's mind was sharper than any blade. The Pike leader's beady eyes studied them, suspicion curling his lips. "You are not Imperial," he mused, his voice slow, calculating. "Nor Jedi." Maul remained motionless. "The Jedi are dead. The Empire is irrelevant." The Pike leader scoffed, his fingers tapping idly against the armrest. "Then you waste my time." Maul tilted his head slightly. "Do I?" The apprentice watched closely. He had seen Maul wield a blade, but now he witnessed a different kind of weapon, his master's sheer presence. He did not need to threaten. His existence was the threat. "You stand alone," the apprentice said, his voice steady. "The Black Sun undermines you. The Hutts reclaim lost ground. The Empire tolerates you, but only as long as you remain useful." The Pike's fingers froze mid-tap. His expression darkened. "We offer you something your rivals cannot," Maul continued. "Order, security. We will ensure your enemies fall in line." His yellow eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. "In return, you will pledge your syndicate to our cause." The Pike inhaled sharply, his nostrils flaring. "And if I refuse?" A shift in the air. The apprentice felt it. The weight of Maul's will, pressing like an invisible blade against the Pike's throat. "If you refuse," Maul said, "you will not live to regret it." Silence hung thick in the chamber. The guards exchanged uneasy glances. The Pike leader swallowed. He was a criminal, but he was no fool. "I will listen." Maul smiled faintly. The first step toward Crimson Dawn had been taken. The deal was sealed with credits and blood. The Pike swore fealty, though loyalty was never expected, only obedience. Their smuggling routes and information networks now served Maul's growing power. In return, he gave them protection, not through alliance, but through fear. As a token of their new partnership, the Pikes offered more than spice or informants. They gave a ship, a warship, sleek, fast, armed for battle, a vessel worthy of their ambitions. Inside the bridge, the apprentice ran a gloved hand over the cold durasteel, gazing out at the vastness of hyperspace. "This suits us better," Maul murmured, stepping beside him. The apprentice nodded. They had power now. A fleet would follow. Crimson Dawn was beginning to take form. The ship's training chamber was vast, lined with durasteel walls bearing the scars of past duels. A single glow panel cast long shadows across the floor. The air hummed with anticipation. Maul stood in the center, twin lightsaber hilts in hand. His apprentice, still weary from their dealings, activated his own blade. "There is still much you do not understand," Maul said. "You hesitate. You cling to old teachings, old weaknesses. That is why you faltered against the Inquisitor." The apprentice tensed. Again. Maul struck first, a crimson blur. His apprentice barely parried in time, the impact rattling through his bones. Again and again. Maul was relentless, each strike carrying intent, to push, to break, to mold. The apprentice fought back, but Maul anticipated everything, his movements surgical, unyielding. Then, a misstep, a flash of a memory. The grand halls of the Jedi Temple. Sunlight filtering through towering windows, laughter, sparring matches, the gentle hum of training sabers. A time before war, before fear. The apprentice faltered. Maul struck. A searing pain shot through his ribs as Maul's hilt drove into his side. He staggered but did not fall. Again, he raised his blade. The temple burned. Blaster fire echoed through the halls. Jedi fell. He ran. His friends, his masters slaughtered. The clone troopers, once their allies, now executioners. He remembered the fear, the desperation, the hopelessness. Then, a world of filth and crime, hunger, survival. The Outer Rim, where the Republic had never truly reached, but where the Empire loomed, and Maul. The apprentice gasped, dropping to one knee, his blade flickering. His body trembled, drenched in sweat. Maul towered over him, lightsaber humming. "You are still weak." The apprentice clenched his fists. "You hesitate, you dwell in the past." Maul deactivated his blade, his voice cold. "Your past is dead, and if you do not let it die, it will consume you." The apprentice forced himself to his feet, gripping his weapon. The echoes of the past clung to him, but Maul was right. He had survived, and now he would rise. Maul turned away, satisfied. "Rest. Tomorrow, we begin again." As the apprentice stood alone in the training chamber, the weight of his master's words settled over him. His past was dead. Only the future remained.